welcome to the Sweet 16, show number 16 of the Midwest Donut Review. I'm Dave Leggett in St. Louis, Missouri. That is my son, Eric Leggett, in Sacramento, California, hence the Mid and the West. And as we do every show, we buy 3 of the same donuts. We price them, we size them, and tell you what's shaking.
Well, we don't price them.
No, we tell you the price. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
we do.
if we price them, they would be way too cheap, probably.
So as we mentioned before we went live on the air here, Eric, long sleeve sweatshirt and a winter hat, and you're indoors.
Yes.
What's going on?
Well, it's about 50 degrees outside, and I refuse to use my gas heater in my apartment. I will not do that. PG&E is too fucking expensive for me to do that, so no shot. And my hair looks awful, so I'm not going to let anyone see that. So, keeps me warm and my dignity intact.
All right, so we have been talking the last couple of weeks about seasonal donuts a little bit, and so my odyssey today was 2.5 hours of driving to head over to Collinsville, Illinois first for our donut stop, because they're one of the few shops that actually has bear claws. And the second stop was Rayburn Farms. They're an apple farm, and they have apple cider donuts. And I will do that review on my own separately from today's show, but we'll edit it into what we're doing. So seasonal donuts are on the menu a little bit today, especially for us here in the Midwest. Finding bear claws is Where's Waldo donuts, quite honestly, in the Midwest. So as we normally kick off all of our shows, Eric, have you some donut news of the week for us today?
I do. It's pretty small this week, but it's nice, and something I didn't know existed. So this article comes to us from WPSD Local News.
WPSD is,
and it is
what state?
I don't... Okay, well, I didn't get this from the WPSD. The title of the article is Paducah Donut Shop Owners Earn Duke Duchess of Paducah Titles. So Paducah is in Kentucky.
It is.
And apparently they have dukes and duchesses there now. Or maybe they always did.
Okay, that's...
But Chris and Beth Bomar, owners of Moonell's Donut Shop on Bridge Street in Paducah, are the newest Duke and Duchess of Paducah. The award aims to honor citizens for their notable contributions to Paducah, according to the city.
Wow. So we have royalty in Paducah. Well, you know, Paducah's a city that we have traveled through many times because we make the trip from St. Louis to Nashville, Tennessee, and we've lived in Nashville back in the early aughts, and so maybe on one of our stops through, we'll stop and meet royalty and stop in that donut shop and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously must be pretty good for the owners to, like, be considered royalty in this store, in this city. I will say, there's this photo they posted with the article. It is the 2 owners, and I'm going to assume, like, the mayor. Yeah, Mayor George Bray. Okay. And they're each holding their certificates. And in the corner, there are these little bags that say Moonell's Donuts, but written on them is the word pizza. What could that possibly mean?
It's a pizza donut?
I don't know, because I just looked them up on Google. Their only website is a Facebook page, which usually I hate, but I think for a donut shop, like, hell yeah. No, that's how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
For like a mom and pop donut place, I think that's how your website should be. And now I'm scrolling through their Instagram, and I don't see anything with pizza. I am seeing, holy shit.
What?
They're donuts. These are donuts. These are insane. But it's, those Christmas tree little Debbie cakes?
Yes.
It's one of the, like half of one of those on top of a donut.
They put a little Debbie on top of a donut?
Yeah. That's incredible. That's insane and incredible.
Okay. Well, I'm going to reserve
someone's dressed as
I think
the Grinch here.
Come on, man.
It's a lot. It's
Doesn't
a lot.
Your donut stand out on its own? Do you need to have half of a little Debbie to make your donut awesome? I don't know.
I mean, I like Little Debbie's Christmas tree cakes. But yeah, maybe they have pizza donuts. I don't know what the fuck that means. There's like 4 bags that say pizza on it.
Well,
what is that?
Well, you know how investigative this show can be. So,
yeah. I'm going to forget about this as soon as
we're no. I'm definitely going to stop in there and find out. There'll be...
Oh, yeah, you're going to make the drive down to Paducah.
Well, next trip to Nashville.
Oh, because the last trip to Nashville was so bountiful with donut reviews.
Well, it's only going to get better from here. That's all I can say. Our feet are still wet. Show number 16, we're still feeling around in the dark a little bit. So, maybe those are super crazy donuts, I don't know. But here are my crazy donuts. Paula's Donuts is an institution in Buffalo, New York. And for their fall season, they do a glazed pumpkin cake donut. I know you're not a fan of pumpkin, but I appreciate the effort here. A glazed apple crisp cake donut, which I really love the idea. And they're doing maple iced yeast donuts also for the holiday season. However, there's a joint in Somerville, Massachusetts called Union Square Donuts. They're close to Cambridge, Massachusetts. They really turn up the seasonal fare. They have a pumpkin spice cake. They have an apple crisp a la mode bar. They have a cranberry ginger cruller. They have apple cider donuts. And they cover theirs in a cinnamon and clove sugar. Because clove has a bite. And cinnamon sugar is just sweet, sweet, sweet. So I think that's a really interesting take on a cinnamon sugar flavor. And finally, the salted caramel apple cinnamon roll, which sounds crazy good. So Union Square Donuts in Massachusetts is all in on the fall flavors. So that's outstanding. So if you're one of our fans following us out east, anywhere near Somerville, Massachusetts, stop in Union Square Donuts and let us know that it's not just frou-frou garbage, that it's actually delicious. So there's my crazy donuts. And as we start most shows, as we flow through most shows, we always start with the glazed donut because
if you can't do a glazed donut right, you've got some issues.
You do indeed.
That should be your number one donut you're making. Day one. Perfect that shit. Then move on to your other stuff.
So where have you gone today? Tell us about some prices and shopping and such.
All right. So today I went to Variety Donuts. It is 816 Harbor Boulevard in West Sacramento. And I will say, for a shop called Variety Donuts, oh my God, did they live up to that name. This might have been the most amount of different donuts in a case I've ever seen. Just like of going to donut shops forever. This is the most amount of like different unique donuts that I've ever seen stuffed into a case. It was crazy. So Variety Donuts is not false advertising. They got a lot of fucking variety in there. But, like we just said, what good is variety if you can't do a glazed donut right? Luckily, their glazed donut's pretty fucking good. So this one was one of the bigger glazed donuts that I've gotten out here. It's 4.5 inches across. This one set me back $1.75, which is not the cheapest, but it's also not the most expensive donut I've had. And I think the star of this donut is the glaze itself. The glaze is really, really good. It's the perfect amount of sweetness. I do wish it had gotten a little more on the bottom. Not a whole lot was able to drip down, but I think for how big this donut was, I think it is totally okay. The texture of it, I didn't love, but I didn't hate it either. It was an okay middle ground between fluffy and dense. There were some parts of it that were more dense than other parts, so maybe the dough itself didn't rise properly, or the frying process. So I've definitely had better textured glazed donuts, but this is definitely up there in terms of the glaze itself. So I think I want to give this one like a 3.8. I think this is definitely an above average glazed donut.
Okay, good way to get out of the box here this morning. My stop today, I will throw in a caveat, because I went to a bakery. It's not just a donut shop. It's the Kruta Bakery. It's in Collinsville, Illinois, and it's one of the few shops that carries bear claws, which is our third donut that we're reviewing today. And but they do donuts. There were a ton of people ordering just donuts, and they probably had 16 or 18 of the most popular donuts. So they're making donuts. They're trying. And so we're starting off with the glaze. Do you know what a six-sided figure is called?
Hexagon.
It is a hexagon. Yes, sir. Look at that early trivia question. So they have hexagon-shaped glazed donuts. What are they doing to get a hexagon-shaped glazed donut?
I mean, it must be the cutter. Maybe they don't use just a straight circle cutter.
Okay.
They use a hexagon to cut the donuts out.
So the first thing is it's small. It's 4 inches by 3.5 inches, and it's 1.25 inches tall. It is a small glazed donut. That is just a little bitty tiny glazed donut. Now, it only costs $1.10, so not an outrageous price. The glaze is really good. It's a really vanilla glaze, not just sugar, not just powdered sugar and milk. So it's a really good glaze. It's a very airy donut. It crushes well, and you know I appreciate that more than you do. I like a donut that you bite and it just, because it's so fluffy, it disappears. But the dough is unremarkable. There is no strong flavor. When you bite the bottom of this glazed donut with no glaze on it, it is just, it's dough. It's yeast dough. That's it. There's no flavor. If there is flavor, you can't, it doesn't jump out. So, not a great start for Kruta Bakery, a 3.2. This is just, if you go in and get a dozen of these, it's just okay. And that's not what we're looking for on this show. So, to start off, we're setting the bar low, and we're going to see if we can climb.
Yeah. Okay. So the second donut we got was a vanilla cake with chocolate icing. This one, for me, really wasn't much. This was the same price as my glazed donut, $1.75, which was only 3 inches across. This is a very small donut. And, man, there was just not enough flavor of anything. The chocolate icing had a very light chocolate flavor. The vanilla cake had a very light vanilla flavor. I it was like it's like if LaCroix made a vanilla cake chocolate iced
You've
donut.
used that term before, and it's not glowing.
Yeah, it's not a great. It's like it was a whisper of flavor. It was a whisper of chocolate and a whisper of vanilla, and I just needed more, especially with how small the donut was. This is a pretty small cake donut. I will say I like the texture a lot. I think it's a good cake texture, but at the end of the day, you just need more flavor out of it. Um, I will say it wasn't like overly sweet. It wasn't like the only flavor I got was sugar. It's like no, I tasted chocolate, which makes me more upset that I didn't taste more of it. It's like you're there. Just give me more of it, and I'll be more satisfied. So I think I want to give this one maybe like a 3-3. Uh, yeah, I think they should be bigger. I think I just need more flavor, more vanilla, more chocolate. I need something more with that donut.
Okay. All right. So, not off to a great start. Maybe the variety we've chosen this week is not great. Maybe their great donuts are the ones we've not picked out of the box today.
Yes.
Okay.
And I guess that's the good thing with variety donuts is there's a fuck lot of donuts there, man.
Well, maybe your third one's the winner. All right. So my vanilla cake donut with chocolate icing. The theme here from Kruta is we're small. This is 3.5 inches round, and it's 1 inch tall. It is tiny. Now, the pictures that I sent you, Eric, that you're going to post, the icing's a little smudged on the top because that was my top donut in the box. So that was my fault for sort of smashing the donut. So I don't want to take away from the look of it, from the pictures that you post about it, because that was on me. So the key is to have a very good cake before you start with the icing. So this is a vanilla cake flavor. It's not the best cake donut I've had, but it's a pretty good vanilla cake flavor. The chocolate icing, it's it's in a bad spot. It's not a bad spot. It's in a not chocolatey enough. It's not fudgy. It's not chocolatey. It's also not chocolate sugar. It's not that bad thin glaze or too grainy. It's not that way at all. But it doesn't make this donut become fabulous. Again, at $1.10, not a bad price for a cake donut with chocolate icing. But it's not. It doesn't jump off the page. It just simply doesn't. This is a 3.3 because the dough is so good. But otherwise, it's sort of unremarkable. Being small is not a positive for a donut, as far as I'm concerned. So
Very rarely. Very rarely.
3.3 on Kruta's vanilla cake donut with chocolate icing today. So, before I saw you've already had some of your bear claw. So
Yeah.
before we get into it, I did a little bear claw research. I actually did this for last show before I was unable to find any. Cooking blogs, food media outlets, and Bear Claw's official Wikipedia page attribute the pastry's origin to the German bakery, once owned by John Ludwig Geibel at 915 K Street in 1914 in Sacramento. The German bakery ran an ad in the now defunct Sacramento Star newspaper that advertised coffee cake, cream puffs, and bear claws. They were 2 for a nickel. I'm assuming I didn't get one today for 2.5 cents. Did you?
No, that is not what mine was going for.
And so, the German bakery and Sacramento have assumed credit for this Danish derivative. However, the historian and preservation Sacramento president, William Berg, he is cautioning against definitely crowning Sacramento as ground zero for bear claws. So I did a little research on my own. In the late 1790s, in Nienberg, Germany, Fakampre's Bakery had a biscuit cake that they called Bear Paws. They were looking for a different form to more easily transfer the pastry, which was very popular at the time. So he had a friend who was a coppersmith. He used the Hoya coat of arms, which has two bear paws, thus the new design. It was brought to America in 1885 in New York at the Fakampre Vienna Bakery, and it was called a Baron-Tatzen, a French biscuit in the form of a bear claw. So, I would say if it's in the shape of a bear claw and it's a fried pastry, that's probably where we should start. So,
Yes.
Sacramento, I appreciate the historian saying, hold on a second now. It definitely was here in 1915, but we're not sure it's where it originated. So I think bear paws in a shape of a bear paw,
Yeah.
should be where we're starting. So late 1790s in Germany. We're getting a lot of European bakers here from a long time
Yes.
ago and just bringing
Plus-
it over here to America.
Plus, not a whole lot of Sacramento donut shops do bear claws, and I feel like if this was like the widely regarded like origin of it, birthplace of the bear claws, more shops would be like, yeah, we got to do a bear claw. We're in Sacramento. So since it's not super popular out here, I'd say definitely more popular than what you've had to go
Yes.
through. But I feel like if this was the known origin of it, but everyone kind of agreed, then it would be more available.
Okay.
But it's not.
Okay.
So I don't think we can call Sacramento the
So tell me about your bear
birthplace.
claw today.
Okay, so mine had an apple filling in it. And oh my god, that was so fucking tart. You'll be able to see in the video the face I make when I take that first bite that I get apple filling in. Whoo! Oh, it was a shock to the system. It was a lot. So this one, it was 6 inches long and 4 inches wide. This one sent me back $3.75.
Oh,
I
that's a specialty donut.
Yeah, it is. The glaze again was very good. However, the tartness of that apple filling really takes it away, because it just hits your tongue, and that is all you're getting. So like when you bite the like little fingers, those are pretty good because it's like your glazed donut. I will say it is filled very good. Like that whole bottom section of it, like that is completely filled. You're not going to take a bite of that without getting some filling. However, like I said, the filling's very tart, and it's got chunks of apple in there. They are like fat chunks of apple in there, which me personally, I do not like at all. I really wish it was smoother. I don't love biting down and crunching on an apple in the middle of my donut. I really don't. So yeah, the apple filling is really just a miss for me with this donut. I think if it had a different filling or even no filling at all, I think I would like this donut better. So I think I want to give this like a 3-2, just because I really think the filling takes away from this donut. I mean, I'm sure chunks, people like chunks of apple in their stuff. I'm a big texture
Are
person.
you thinking homemade apple filling, or do you think this is coming out of
I
a
th-
can?
I think this came out of a can.
Okay.
I don't think this is homemade. I could be wrong, obviously, but it's like, man, that tartness just hits you, and that's all you're getting when you take a bite. And, you know, maybe some people are into that. Maybe some people are into big chunks of apple in their apple filling. But for me personally, I think it really takes away from this donut. So I'm going to give this one like a 3.1.
Wow.
This one is, it's just
That's
not for
a shame.
me. It's
That's
not.
a shame. But here's the thing. If it was good, you would say it was good. Just because it's not your thing. I mean, if it's a great donut, you're giving it a high score, even if it's not your thing.
Yeah. But fuck, man. They gotta find an apple filling that is a little bit softer on the palate.
I missed. How tall was your bear claw?
I didn't get how tall it was. If I were to guess, maybe like an inch or so. It's not super thick.
Okay. So here is my bear claw. So it's 1 inch. So do you think yours is thicker than that?
It might
Okay,
be.
'cause
Yeah.
I don't have apple filling. I have almond paste, which I think is a great idea.
I think almond paste is the more traditional bear claw like version.
Okay. I'm getting choked up about this bear claw. I found one.
And it's so good. Right?
Yes, it is. They've done this so well. So mine is 7.5 inches long
Holy
by
shit.
3.25 inches wide, and 1 inch tall. So I don't know. So we cut our donuts in half when we take the pictures. You can tell that by itself it looks like a bear claw. With the fingers. And there were 8 fingers on this bear claw. It's massive.
Oh my god.
And from the moment you pick it up, you know that you're dealing with a higher level of baking ability. This is a pastry donut. This is like, I think, even further down the road than like a cronut, even the croissant donut. But the vanilla, it's a different vanilla glaze than is on the glazed donut. I think they make it for this specifically, and I think you noticed, look at the almonds. The almonds with the almond paste and a different glaze filled with the almond paste. This is a great setup for a donut. It's made very well. It's beautiful. The almond glaze filling it's so different. It's such a different sensation. I can't think of any item that I buy that has almond paste. I can't. And it's so glorious.
Yeah.
It's sweet. It's got a little bit of bitter to it. This is a donut that complements itself with all of the layers, with the almond and the vanilla and the almonds and the paste. This is a 4.1 for me. This is a really great bear claw. If you are anywhere near Collinsville, near Kruta Bakery when they're open, and the lines are out the door, they're a super popular joint, you gotta grab a bear claw. These are spectacular. In the St. Louis area, we've talked about this before, there just are not many places that do the bear claw. Not only does Kruta do the bear claw, they do it very well. That's a really impressive.
So what I'm also getting is their almond croissant must be fucking awesome too.
Yes, I'm sure that it is. There's no part about this. Oh, and it's only $2.65. It is a specialty price, but $2.65 for a 7.5 inch bear claw.
It's $1.10 less than mine.
It's excellent. So yeah, great way to finish Kruta Bakery. Really well done.
And before, have you said all you needed to about this donut?
Yes, super happy with it.
All right. So We'll talk a little bit about our shops. I do feel a little bad. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to Variety Donuts just because, again, this was the most variety I've seen in a shop before. So I feel like judging the shop based on 3 donuts is a little harsh. Because, man, they've got a fuck lot of donuts in there.
Well, here's the
So,
thing about our show. Go back again, get 3 different kinds. We'll do another show where we don't do a glaze. There's a couple of specialty shops here in St. Louis that are Strange Donuts and Vincent Van Donut. And quite honestly, they're not famous for their glazed donuts. They're famous for their takes on donuts. So if we'll in the future we'll have you head back to Variety and get 3 kinds no glaze and see how close I can get with my 3 kinds no glaze at one of the specialty shops. We're not going to ding a donut place for thinking outside the box. You're not going to pay the price for it. So
yeah.
so we'll have that for a future show, and we'll give Variety another shot at 3 different kinds and see if it's a one-off or if it's a trend.
Yes. Hopefully they haven't decided quantity over quality. That is the hope.
Yeah, if you make 40 donuts and they're all just okay, maybe narrow it down and work on. Yeah. Have something that people are like, oh, have you been to Variety? Because they have the best ... That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want people talking about.
Yeah.
And then try the other ones. Although we know a couple to not worry about when you go to Variety.
Yes.
Okay, it is now trivia time.
Nope. I'm now going to throw it to our future selves who have reviewed their apple cider donuts. Speaking of specialty donuts. So before we do trivia, I will take it over to them and you can enjoy our future selves reviews of apple cider donuts.
Welcome back, fans. This is our independent review of the apple cider donut. I am Dave Leggett for the Midwest Review. You already know that. This is the middle of our show. We have gone to Belleville, Illinois to get apple cider donuts from the Bradegam Orchards in Belleville. So that is how they come. There's 6 in the box. They are just a little bit small. It is a cake donut. It's an apple cider cake donut. It's about 2.5 inches across. It's about 1 1/4 inches high. It is not a huge donut by any stretch, and we are certainly not going to put Bradegam Orchards up against a donut place to see variety and such, because what they specialize in is taking their apples on their farm and putting them in a donut. So we have apple cider donut covered in cinnamon sugar, and it's a seasonal item. So let's see how it goes down. Oh, it is spectacular. It is so well done. You can see, look at the inside of that. It has bits and pieces of cinnamon and other spices. It's sweet, but this cake with nothing else, without the cinnamon sugar coating, is excellent. It's such a soft cake. The cake by itself, and it is clearly not an apple donut. It is so clearly an apple cider donut. This is a 4.5. I don't know how it could be any better. A 6-pack costs $7.50, which is about $1.25 a piece. So that's a great price for a spectacular donut. The cake donut, it's fried so well. It's soft top and bottom. Maybe a tad crunch on the top. Generously rolled in the cinnamon sugar. And great aroma of the apple cider. It is so clearly an apple cider donut. Oh, here's the best news, especially since this is so delicious and you need to go there. Bradingham Orchards in Belleville, Illinois. The gentleman working the counter this morning told me they have enough apple cider to do these donuts every Saturday. They're open from 8 in the morning till noon, to go by every Saturday through at least the December. Of course, some Saturdays for Christmas and New Year's, that sort of thing. They will be making these donuts. Head to Belleville, Illinois. Get the apple cider donuts from Bradingham Orchards. Brautigam Orchards in Belleville, Illinois. Oh, my heavens. You'll be so happy that you did. So, apple cider donuts, seasonal, and so well done. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Thanks.
Hello, Midwest Donut fans. It's Eric here in Placerville, I believe, a little outside Sacramento. And I'm here for my apple cider donut review. I am here at Rainbow Orchards in Apple Hill, whatever. And they aren't lying about the hill part, I'll tell you that. And I have just gotten my bag of hot apple cider donuts. This was $11. A single one is only $2. You get a half dozen, it's $11. And then a full dozen, I believe, was $20. It was pretty good value, I guess. And now I have to start this review. One, these are very hot. Hot apple cider donuts. They aren't kidding about that either. I'm doing this in my car because I'm too embarrassed to do it in front of other people for obvious reasons. And the other thing I want to say is these donuts are batting from behind in the count at this point in the review. So it was an hour drive for me out here, which is already not great. So it's going to be an hour drive back, so 2 hours round trip. And I timed from the time I got in line to the time I received my donuts, it was 37 minutes. I know it's a Saturday, probably one of the busier times. That's still crazy. Like, I'm sorry, that's still crazy. And at the end of the day, this is also a $2 donut. So, I have high expectations for these. So it is covered in cinnamon sugar. And again, it is a hot apple cider donut. I should have gotten something to drink. Oops. Let's try it. Okay. Here's the inside. It's a pretty good texture. People in my life would call me a pessimist. I'd say that's fair. And because of that, because of the way I am, I wanted to not like these donuts. I didn't. I wanted this to be a not good experience. So I can come on here and I can complain and I can tell you guys, overrated, fuck this, don't do it. But I'll be damned if that's not a great fucking apple cider donut. Son of a bitch! The texture is perfect. Getting them hot and fresh, which you are going to do here, just because the amount of people and how they're rolling them out, you're going to get them hot and fresh. I originally thought maybe the cinnamon and sugar was too much for it, but it really isn't. It matches super well. These are super light too. Like, I got a half dozen. I could probably take down 3 of these right now. Fuck, this is an excellent donut. I'm a little upset that it's so good. Because again, we were starting, I'd say most donuts start at like a 2.5, just because donuts are good. And it's a donut.
But in the experience, I'm like, you're starting from lower than that just because the experience was not ideal. But fuck, guys. Maybe that one was an outlier. I'll try another one. Nope. This one's just as fucking good as the first one, guys. Rainbow Orchard. Yeah. No, they got it. Oh, man. I'm going to give this a 4.3. 4.3, I think, is an incredibly fair and good score. So now think, if you come up here on a not busy day, and maybe you live closer, this could easily be a 4.8, 4.9. The experience drags it down. I'll say the price. Oh, this is a great donut. $2, man. It's a little steep. It's a little steep. This is an excellent donut. 4.3. That's my final score for Rainbow Orchard's hot apple cider donuts.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Well, I think we're both sad that apple cider donuts only come around for a little while.
Very sad, because I bet they were really
Yes.
good.
Okay, now we will close our show how we normally do with trivia time. Trivia time, trivia time. All right, so Ranker is a website that compiles lists. And they compiled a list of the most popular donut in every state. Okay? I think it goes without saying. The number one donut is glazed, and it was
Glaze, yeah.
picked by 18 states as their favorite donut. So, that's not trivial.
Mm-hmm.
What is the number 2 favorite donut in the United States as chosen by 7 states?
Number 2 favorite donut.
Yes. I will tell you,
wanna
there were a total of 19 donuts chosen.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of states had one donut flavor only, you know.
So 7 states chose this donut as
Yes.
their favorite?
And then
Okay.
it fell markedly down to 3, and then 2, 2, and then a bunch of ones. So 19 total donuts.
Okay.
What is the number 2 most popular donut in the United States by state ranking?
I want to see the Boston cream-filled donut.
That was number 3.
Fuck! Let me get another shot. Let me get another
Okay,
shot.
I will give you a little bit of a hint.
Okay.
It's a little bit new.
Now I want to say the
It
Cronut?
is the cronut. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
I am shocked. I am shocked that 7 states that unanimously decided that was their
And
favorite.
I don't know if we have chatted about this before, but it's the Dominic Ansel. He invented this from his shop in New York in 2013. We've been there.
Mm-hmm.
We've been to his shop, and we had a cronut, and it's damn delicious. And 7 states
Cronuts are
think
very
it's
good.
number 2.
So I'm assuming New York was one of those states that
Yes,
said the Cronut's
yes.
their favorite.
So, I mean, that makes sense,
Fucking
but
typical.
the fact that it went all across, it's only been out for 11 years, and it's already the second most popular in the U.S., I think that's great.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
All right, so I told you there were 19 donuts on this list.
Yeah.
Who finished 19th? Which donut
man.
finished 19th?
So, I mean, I
It's
have
a tie
some
for 19th.
in my
There
head.
were a bunch of states that had more,
Okay.
but this was... Somebody had to finish last.
I have some in my head, but it's like not popular donuts. So it's like it wouldn't be a state's favorite. So it still has to be a good donut, but 19th good donut. I'm going to say A chocolate Long John.
Long John. Yep. Number 19 is the
Oh,
Long
fuck
John.
yeah!
Well done. All right, now for your home state. What is California's number one donut? Calvin, please, sir.
I mean, just, play the numbers game. I'm tempted to say Glaze, but
Do not be tempted.
yeah. I'm going to say jelly-filled donut.
Incorrect. California's favorite
Fuck.
donut is the Bear Claw.
Oh, man.
Isn't that?
That's shocking
I
to
know.
me.
I thought with the Sacramento connection, maybe. I don't know. But you were saying that not every
Yeah.
shop carries them, so
Yeah, that's a little surprising to
okay.
me.
And finally, last piece of trivia, a little bit of fun.
All
The
right.
tallest tower of donuts ever created was in South Africa in 2018. Within 500, what was the tallest tower of donuts ever stacked?
Within 500, so in multiples of 500 is what I have to
Yes.
guess. I'll say 3,500.
That's very well done. The official number is 3198. So you were
Damn.
absolutely within 500.
I got close.
That's a lot of donuts.
That's
And what we've learned,
where do they get these donuts?
if you stack 3,198 Krispy Kremes, that would be about 1.5 feet.
Yes. And then you
Smash
can
'em.
flatten them, and then it'll go to 6 inches.
So, well done. And, as usual, we've given our fans a ton of new and fun information.
Absolutely.
So I think the Sweet 16 went very well today. Numbers could have been a little bit higher, but sometimes education is fun too.
I don't know about that.
So, all right, so that'll wrap up today's show, and we'll be back for number 17 in a week or so. Eric, how can we get a little bit of help from our fans?
I'd say the most help you can give us is sharing this show. Share it on all your social media, share it in person. And not only that, rate and review the show. If you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment on the video. If you're on Apple Podcasts, rating and review the show helps out a lot. Gets us more in the algorithm, gets more eyes on us. And more eyes means more interaction. Commenting, some donut shops you might want us to go to, or maybe stay away from.
You
Really
know what?
just
If somebody
engagement.
gives us a donut shop to stay away from, we're definitely going there.
Yeah, we kind of have to. Maybe that's your cheat code. If you really want us to go to a shop, tell us to not go
Yes.
to it.
Whether you tell us to go or tell us to not go, we're going.
We're going. If you mention a donut shop to us, it is on our list.
Okay, so thank you, fans, for joining us. I'm Dave in St. Louis. That is Eric in Sacramento. We will see you very soon with our next episode of the Midwest Donut Review. Thanks, everybody.